Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me for Yoga in Our Cities virtual studio class for chair yoga. My name is Anne. Now, I'm starting a little bit earlier today, just because I had it all set up and I'm ready to roll. So I hope all of you are going to still be able to tune in or watch this class when you go back into the library that we have set up with Yoga in Our City. Now, please consult a medical practitioner before engaging in any exercise that also is even yoga. And this is very important if you are pregnant, if you are nursing, if you're taking any type of medication, whether it be prescription or over the counter. So once you have the okay, then please come and join us in chair yoga. And if there's a pre-existing condition, your medical practitioner or physician will let you know what you can do and what you can't. It's always great to be safe, especially as we age, as I am aging, slow but sure. And sometimes the body, the neck, different parts of the body remind me that I am aging. But anyhow, I guess we're supposed to embrace it, right? And yoga is so wonderful because it allows us to really focus on moving, but stretching and breathing at the same time. Now, on a personal note, today's session will focus on our cognitive strengthening in a couple of different ways. Now, one way is synchronizing our breath with our movement. And the other way is that we're going to do some symmetrical poses. Then we're going to do some asymmetrical, and then we'll do cross lateral. So we'll be using both sides of the brain. Okay? Now, when we say the word cognitive strengthening, we mean exactly that. We're strengthening parts of our brain, hopefully. Our brain weighs about 3.5 pounds. And through exercising our brain through movement, breath, oxygen, etc., we are doing nothing but good for ourselves. Okay? So, as always, we go into our foundational pose, which is called sitting mountain. Now, whenever you need to come back to sitting mountain, maybe you find yourself not aligned, not in an active sitting position, then you come right back to our foundational pose. Now, we always start at the bottom of our feet. And to begin with, I'm going to take off my socks. A little chilly today, so I wound up wearing these nice heavy socks. But what we're going to do is take our feet and where the fatty part of our feet are and the heel and right beneath the toes, we're going to sink those into the floor in front of us. Now, if you can't reach the floor, you're going to use your block, as I'll show you now. And you're going to place one foot on one block and the other foot on the other, so your feet can be nice and flat. And again, this is safety. We want to be safe in our chairs. Okay? Very important. Now, as far as distance, take your fists, as always, and roll them up the mid thighs. And that should be the space between your knees. Okay, so they're not touching, nothing's crossed, everything is remain actively involved, and our prana or our energy will be able to move through our body. Now we're moving up and we're going to take our finger and we're going to place them on our belly button and we're going to zip up right to the top of our head. And as we do that, we think about what we are doing and we move our body into an alert posture. Now, after that, we're going to take our right hand, pull that right cheek. You feel the sitting bone and then the left, and just go back and forth so you can again feel the grounding of your sits bones into the chair. This also helps us to engage in an active pose. Now, after that, take your fist again. You can place it under your chin. You want the chin to be parallel with the floor. And we talk each week about the dristi. The dristi is a focal point. Now, a focal point can be right in front of you where the ceiling and the wall meet. We don't want to raise our head or our neck higher than that. No strain on the neck. And or we could look a few feet in front of us, or wherever it's comfortable. Or you can just have your chin, like I do, parallel to the floor. Now, after this, we're going to bring our awareness to our shoulders and we're going to push those shoulders back. So our back, we're kissing our shoulder blades together. So that really opens our chest. Now, we need to align the spine by stretching and releasing. And we want to be actively engaged in the sitting posture. You also want a space between the back of your chair and where your body begins in the back. Okay? Now, the purpose of this is we do not want to be slumping over or be so relaxed. And our mind becomes like this, kind of lazy. So we want to be actively involved in all our muscles, all our ligaments, everything is strong sitting here. Okay, next, we're going to move into our props. Here's our roller. And in addition, I've already showed you the blocks. So we'll start with this today. And as always, we're going to roll the feet. Okay, and we'll do this. We'll come back to this. We'll do this in our warm-ups. Okay? Now let's go back to the next part, which will be our intention. Now, if you have another intention that you're working on, please allow that to come to your conscious mind. You can either whisper it or you could be very silent and just say it to yourself. Or you could say it like I am going to out loud. Now we'll say the intention 3 times and we'll begin. My intention is increase my awareness. My intention today during this yoga session is to increase my awareness. My intention is to increase my awareness. And one more time, my intention is to increase my awareness. Now, as I was saying this, I just simply added to myself, increase my awareness of my body, my mind, and my spirit. All righty. Next, we're going to move into a breathing movement or pranayama, which is called Padmasana breathing. This is designed to increase our cognitive health. It's a very large breath, very deep and slow. And then we exhale slowly. Now, I'm going to share with you the benefits of this particular breath. First of all, Padmasana promotes mindfulness, helps us to be more aware, more alert. Now, physiologically, it also helps because we become more agile, connecting the breath with the movement. And in addition, we have a mental calmness. Now, this mental calmness is very important because if you are someone who has cognitive, you're trying to increase your cognitive function, or I should say to be sharper, this also has to do with people you may know that may be starting out having beginning signs of dementia. And very important that they have this mental calmness. And the breath allows that because the sympathetic nervous system, which goes on high alert, is could be very, um, let's see, very destructive to promoting mindfulness, calmness, improved digestion, because we're on high alert. Okay. Now, if we had a room full of regular, like myself, I just teach yoga, or we had a room, maybe we were doing a chair yoga class in a home for people that may be cognitively impaired. What does it look like? There's really no difference between what they can do and what a person without that can do. But it's very important, number one, that they are safe. Number two, it's important, in addition to this, that we help them connect the breath with the movement. This increases the energy in the body, also begins to stimulate the flow of oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide in the physical, mental, and spiritual body. So let's begin with the Padmasana. We're going to start taking large, deep, slow breaths, and then we'll exhale slowly. Please go at your own speed, and I will do 6 of these full, deep, slow breaths. And visualize, if you can, the flow of the oxygen coming into the body and releasing with the carbon dioxide. Okay, ready? Let's begin. Find a comfortable spot. Now I'm going to put my hands on the sides of my chair. This also helps me to be aware of my sitting posture. Now our spine is not straight, but we want that natural curve. We want the shoulders back to open up our chest. Let's begin. Now with this deep, slow exhalation, each person needs to focus on their own breath. Be mindful of when you're inhaling, make sure it's a large breath and exhale. Now, maybe you can only presently breathe a little bit. Maybe you only inhale kind of quickly and then you exhale kind of quickly. Just be patient with yourself because in time, you're going to increase the rate of your breath. Increase it as far as time is concerned. There's a saying in the yoga masters that they would say the less breaths per minute, the longer one's life. So there's been documentation of some yogis that maybe only have 4 breaths per minute. And then there's other people that they may be nervous, or they may be have a ADHD or whatever, and they maybe have 16, 17 breaths per minute. Okay? So be calm and patient with yourself, and all this will change and transform as you continue practicing on a daily basis. And of course, another great place to practice is when you're lying in bed, getting ready to sleep or rest. You can practice that. Place your hands on your belly or whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, now we're going to begin with our warm ups. So we're going to take our stretch, we're going to stretch and flex the joints. We're going to create space in our body, a nice smooth flow of energy. So I always start with the feet, and you could feel whether you have a roller like I do, or you just want to massage your feet. That's perfect. Remember, all the nerves end in the bottom of the feet. And just stretch, stretch, stretch. Beautiful. Well done, everyone. Be proud of yourself. Okay? So, what I'm going to incorporate right now is it's very important that we increase our cognitive strengthening by warming up our joints and also connecting different parts of the body, moving the fingers, moving our wrists. Okay, this is all part of the promotion of combining the breath with your movement. So after that, we're going to simply raise the foot up and make circles with the ankles. And then let's reverse. Now we're going to come back to this when we start our symmetrical and asymmetrical postures. Okay? Great. And then you may want to take the toes, raise them both up, toes come down, soles of the feet are parallel to the floor, and then back up. You can feel that beautiful stretch. We're strengthening, as you can see, all the ligaments on the feet. You could see your connection of the bones. You can see the veins coming through. Okay, keep it going. Moving breath with movement. Great. Now the next stretch will be, we're simply going to take our hand, wrap it around the right knee, bring that knee up to my chest, and then the opposite. Bring it up. And then back down. Now let's do it again. We'll do 3 on each side. This is 2. Inhale, and then as you come down is your exhalation. Okay? The breath is extremely important in keeping our cognitive functioning healthy and alert. Okay, we need that breath. Okay, now moving from there, we're going to take our fingers and just tap them together. Okay, moving each of the fingers. Now, some of you may play an instrument, and this also is very good, whether it be piano or violin or guitar, whatever it is, you're moving those fingers, drumming, all right? So, very important, keep those joints limber, keep those joints lubricated. We do this through movement. So, keep it going. And now let's make circles with both hands. This would be an example of symmetrical posture, because we're moving the left side and the right side synchronously or the same way. And then reverse. Now I'm going to invite you to take your fingers, place the right on the right shoulder and the left on the left. And you're going to inhale, stretch it forward, touching those elbows, and then back on the exhalation. Again, inhale, exhale, stretch back on the exhalation. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Ah, beautiful. Then we're going to take our fingers, our hands that are on our shoulders, and we're going to make a letter O. So our elbows are creating a big O. And you can even use your visualization with this. Maybe at the end of your elbow is a red magic marker. And you're rubbing that magic marker, red, 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 into the space on the right side. And maybe on the left, we're going to reverse. And this one is going to be a purple magic marker. Feel the stretch. Beautiful. Now, neck. Okay, this is very sensitive for me. So I'm going to simply inhale. I'm going to exhale and move to the right. Turn my neck as far as I can. Again, remember, no ouches. And then come back. Inhale. And come around as far as you can. And you may notice that one side of your body may be, more limber, more flexible than the other. That's very normal, just in case you don't think it is. It is. Okay, and then the opposite. Back again. Back again. Beautiful. So as we move, we may find this feels so good that maybe we want to do it at the stiffest time of the day. Maybe that's morning. For me, it's when I wake up in the morning, I try to move my body's still lying in the bed, and I try to just move my neck from side to side, just to give it that little push, It's like Geritol. Give it the little push, get it moving, okay? Now, another thing you can do is bring the chin slightly down to the chest and then stretch up. Then back down and back up. And one more time, back down and back up. Beautiful. Now, let's not forget our face. So let's do the eyes. Let's take the eyes and just make circles with the eyes. Again, symmetrically, both eyes are moving in the same direction. So your right eye is looking all the way over to the left, and the left eye is going to look over to the right, but they're doing it together. Then you're going to reverse. Now, this is called palming. After we exercise the eyes, it's always good to close the eyes, place the palms of your hands over your eyes, and it allows your eyes to rest. Just close them. It's all darkness. Nice full breath. Beautiful. And then let's come out of that. And now we pretty much have warmed up the body. So first we're going to go into a symmetrical posture. Now the symmetrical posture takes both sides of the body because they're equal and focus on grounding the body. But the left side and the right side are synchronously working together. So When we inhale and stretch our arms up, if you could bring them all the way up, that's great. Okay, this would be an example. And then exhale, this would be symmetrical. You're doing to the right side and the left side of the body exactly the same. Now, maybe you can only move your arms up halfway, parallel to the shoulders. No problem. This is still a nice symmetrical movement. Okay. Now, another symmetrical asana would be the bridge pose. And in our chair yoga, we can take our hands and we can place them on the sides of our chair. Remember, safety is always number one. And you want to take your feet and maybe you're going to come up on your toes and you're simply going to inhale. Well, you may want to go a little farther. I'm finding I have to move my feet a little bit farther. So now I'm going to inhale and stretch into my bridge pose. Bring that chest up to the ceiling and exhale coming down. And maybe I'm going to stretch forward a little bit just to give my spine that movement. Okay, the 6 movements of the spine. Inhale, stretch up, bridge pose, symmetrical, and exhale fully down. Now, the deeper that you can breathe, the better. You're getting that oxygen, remember, exchanging. So this is just beautiful. Yoga helps keeping the body flexible. Okay, so that's the bridge pose. Now, if we were going into the next type of cognitive strengthening, we would call this an asymmetrical pose. Now, the asymmetrical pose would be an example. I move my right hand up and I stretch over to my left side. But I'm going to do these separate and then coming down. And then I'm going to do the opposite side, but not synchronistically. I'm going to do them separate. You're going to stretch, side stretch, and again. Beautiful. And of course, as you're exhaling, that's when the arm is calming down. Now, another asymmetrical pose would be we can move into coming a little bit closer on the edge of our chair, and we can take our arms and we can stretch them out like we're going to do a triangle pose. And I can take my right leg and I can move it a little bit over. So I will be kind of at the edge of my chair, but again, safe. And as I move into the triangle pose, I'm going to lower the right hand down. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to stretch that left hand up and I'm going to look towards my left palm if I can. And I like to fold my elbow right on my right leg. You can also take your fingers and place them on the side. This is another asymmetrical. Slowly come out. Beautiful. Come back to the center and just shake out the body, shake out the hands. And then we're going to move to the opposite. So this is another asymmetrical triangle pose. Come kind of to the edge of the chair and ground that left foot into the floor, arms out, same thing. You can even take that right foot and you could take your block actually. I didn't show you on the other side, but you could do this to help yourself to feel maybe more stable or supported, okay? So that would come down if you need it. Again, let's do triangle pose, stretch, stretch, that left hand up. You can look right at the palm of the left hand. And if you'd like, you can place your right hand holding onto the edge of the chair. So you're using now with the asymmetrical, you're using exhale, come down, both sides of the brain. Okay? Now next, we're going to move into Let's do singing. Okay, so I'm going to say a phrase. It's called sa ta na ma. And you could follow sa ta na ma. So I'll say it out loud and you could say it silently. But each of the thumb touches each of the fingers, but in that order. Okay. This is wonderful for the brain. We remember singing. We remember songs from being teenagers, right? Even childhood. Okay, let's begin. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. 3 times. Sa, ta, na, ma. Beautiful. And again, you're engaging the fingers. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do, this is called cross lateral. This is very good for the brain. But sometimes I have a problem with this because the cross lateral get really mixed up. So the left hand goes on the right shoulder, and then I'm going to take that right hand, I'm going to place it on the top of my head. But now you're going to reverse. Okay? Whoop. I already started. This is not easy. So you're cross lateraling over. Yeah. And it also works with the left and the right side of the body. So I'm going to take my right leg, as I said, we were going to come back to this, stretch it in front of me in the left. And now you're going to touch, you can bring that leg closer to the chair, touch the right with the left. And now the opposite, up, left with right. Good. And let's do that a few times. So this is the cross lateral. So the more we can change up what we do, but we retain through our memory what we're used to. Okay. So when you get used to these, you may want to keep practicing the same thing over and over. Just remember, we want to get those joints lubricated. Okay. And we want to exercise the brain, but function very deeply on your breath. And that was called the Padmasana breathing. That's the large, deep, slow breath, and you exhale slowly. Okay, and to close this evening, let's take our palms of our hands and place them together. And let's take the fingers, bring them up to the ceiling, and come right around. And let's go the opposite. Beautiful. And I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and take a nice, deep Padmasana breath. And you may open your eyes. Everyone, you did a great job. I'm very proud of you. And try to do this every single day, maybe even twice a day. But be sure to connect with your breath. And wherever you are, you can slowly make some movements. You can also do the Satanama or any other, you can engage in any other song that you remember, maybe from childhood. You know, could be words, Jack and Jill went up the hill. Okay. So you can play around with this and you can have fun with it. All righty. Now I thank you all for joining me. This is Anne, and I'm signing off for Yoga in Our Cities virtual studio class for chair yoga. Please practice every day, and I hope to see all of you next Wednesday, same time, same station. Again, be proud of yourself. You did really well. Okay. Good night, everyone.